Okay, welcome everybody. This is Gaming and Still Life, and today we are going to give you a beginner's perspective, because I'm pretty new to all this, of Skyrim VR, but from all three headsets: the HTC Vive, the Oculus Rift, and the Samsung Odyssey. Now, is that a fair comparison? Who knows, but I did it anyway. So these are all opinions, but I can give you insightful, accurate reviews. I did long play tests, several hours each headset, and then I not only did that, but then I came back to it and double checked, make sure that that I was able to do that. So right now, let's get on with the testing. Okay, now this is basically the part when I was coming in the game with the trackpads, and this is one of my biggest complaints that I had in this game. Is to jump, you have to hit the grip button, which is the same button that you use to move around in the world in 3D. Oh. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to figure out, how to jump. And you hit the grip button. That's how you sneak. This is not... In order to sneak, you have to hit the trackpad down and then hit the grip button. But I'm just backing up. You gotta do it at the same time. So, in order to jump, you hit the grip button. In order to sneak, you hit down on the trackpad and hit the grip button. In order to unsneak, you hit down on the trackpad and then hit the grip button, so you can go back up. So that was pretty confusing for me with the HTC Vive. So that took me a little bit to be able to comprehend in that game, and that was one of my biggest complaints. Is why did they change the control? Just because it has two trackpads. Now we're gonna do mostly controls right here to show you the differences. Okay. Now with the other headsets, for example, the Oculus Rift. Now with these headsets, it's basically very similar to the Samsung Odyssey, where you have the two sticks. So basically, in order to do the jump here, I only have to press up on the right stick. So this stick is so I can move around in the world, and I push up to jump and down to sneak. Now look at the big difference. In order to jump, I have to hit the grip button on my left hand, okay, with the Vive. Okay. In order to jump here, I just push up on the stick. Same thing as the Odyssey, you just push up on the stick. In order to crouch and hide, I have to hit down on the trackpad and hold the grip button in, and then in order to hide on this one, I just push down on the stick. In order to unhide, I have to hit the grip and then down to unhide in the game. Okay, that is just crazy. Why they decided to go with that control scheme, I don't know, and I don't know. I don't understand why or what they were thinking when they did that. Now, the visuals in this headset. Now, for me, this was one of the more uncomfortable headsets. It would weigh down a little bit on the front, even though with adjusting and stuff like that, it was, even with the $100 audio strap, it's still, out of all the headsets, this was the more uncomfortable headset that I played through, that I actually wanted to take it off. Now, what I did like is this one had the loudest audio out of all the other headsets. What's in this one? I don't know why, but for some reason, with my Samsung Odyssey, the audio, they would not go up as high. Another thing I want to mention is the way that the game, and I tried this with the vanilla version, the way that the game looks in this headset, I did not like. It was very jaggy. I had like jaggies to it, and when I would look at like a bush, like you can see the noise in the pixelation of the bush. Now in comparison, when I played it on the Oculus Rift, it actually looked less jaggy, and the bushes looked less like had noise in them. I don't know if that explains it right, but when you go to something that has a lot of mishmashes and crosses like that, and you're looking at it and you can see like it has like a fuzz to it, and it's like vibrating inside of it, then this one did it less, and things were a little bit, actually looked a little better in Skyrim VR, and everything just seemed a little smoother on this headset than the Vive. Now, the display by far looked the best on this, and there's no everybody knows why. This uses basically the same display as the Vive Pros coming out and the new Samsung displays. In synthesis, of course you're going to get a better resolution and better display out of the Samsung Odyssey. Now, as far as controls, for people out there with Oculus Rift fans, everybody knows that the Oculus Rift, their stick, I think is one of the finest sticks in VR. Because it has that same texture to it that, like, for example, an Oculus Xbox One controller will have. So for being able to go up the side of a mountain, this came in very handy, and I was just able to hit up on the stick and easily navigate on almost any mountain just by continuously clicking up on the stick, and I was able to easily jump. And I was able to easily jump and maneuver around enemies, no problem with the Oculus Rift. And it also made it very enjoyable to play, and it's very, very intuitive and easy to get into, I thought, once you get used to all the buttons and everything that it does with this system. So this was one of the superior ways of controlling it, as long as your play space that you stand up in VR is somewhere close to your play space where you might just chill and sit down. Because I did notice that playing it with the Vive required me to be more standing up and doing things than playing it with this, because the sticks allow you to really sit down and be able to enjoy it a lot more sitting down. Another problem that I did find is while you're sitting down, if I'm sitting down, I can go back into my advanced menus in Steam and adjust my height settings. Now, there's also an adjustment for your height settings in the game, and you can do that. So if I'm sitting down, I could make the height adjustment so it seems like I'm taller in the game. Now, when I would shut down the game and then come back to play it again, and I'm sitting down again, now I'm like even lower to the ground, and then when I go to set my settings, actually what would happen is that they're already set high, so I couldn't adjust them any higher. So what I have to do is set down my settings, go back out, reboot, and then it was kind of a hassle to do that, I felt. So here was a little bit of the other day on the stream. Basically, we were talking about. Remember? Oh, I almost lost my phone. Remember what Sweetviver was saying that you couldn't do? This is with the Windows Mixed Reality headset. Look, see how I can move my arrow? I can go way up there, or I can go way down here. Remember that whole thing with Sweetviver saying the Windows Mixed Reality can't do it? Well, this proves you know, this proves it wrong right there. I mean, it will, like, sometimes it will stick if you do it like this, but for the most part, it works pretty good, you know? So, don't give me that bullshit at this thing. And that's one of the things that I wanted to show on that stream when I did the, as long as you set the settings for advanced bow mechanics, then you can are able to move your bow. It made it sound a lot like you couldn't. So actually the bow mechanics worked just fine sitting in my chair, and I was able to shoot arrows no problem with the advanced bow settings. Also, when I did start to put some of the mods like the fauna, where you see like the grass textures and stuff like that look a little better, that is more apparent in this headset right here. I really did enjoy Skyrim probably the most, just for the look out of that. And I wanted to clear up also a lot of things on the Sweetviver. If you've seen his review of the Samsung Odyssey with Skyrim, he mentions that he has a green screen and that he had a lot of problems recording. Now, all my recording that I did with the Odyssey is I have a green screen as well, and I don't have to stick anything on it or anything to get it to work. It just the headset would just work as long as there's something in the room. It doesn't have to be where the green screen area is, but as long as there's something in the room where it could see and be able to recognize something, then it should just track fine. So it should just be able to track fine. So I disagreed with that part of the review. I felt that of all the headsets, the worst thing about the Samsung Odyssey was the audio wasn't as loud. With the Oculus Rift, it had the better equipment, but control-wise, it was very similar to the Samsung Odyssey. The only reason I'll give the Samsung Odyssey the edge, especially for price point and for what you get, I highly recommend this over any of the other options, just because of the fidelity, the price point, and the ability to play it with so many other Steam games, and the ability to just, it only has 2 plugs that you have to worry about: HDMI and USB 3. As long as you have these 2 on your computer and you have Windows 10, and then it works. So I would definitely give a 9 to the Samsung Odyssey. I thought it was the best performer by far. Just below it, not even like a 1/10 of a point, the Oculus Rift was a very good performer, and it did very well on all the tests that I did run. And the last one that I felt, as far as the control issues and the display, was the Vive, unfortunately. Now, if this was a game, kind of like, if this was a Fallout VR review, then I probably would have gave the Vive the best, because as far as that game is concerned, Fallout VR works way better with that type of pad implementation. Now, with these pads on Skyrim, I thought was a actual downgrade, because on a lot of times where I was trying to hit certain things on the menu, I would overshoot it. So in that regard, I felt that these controlled the worst. The best thing about the Vive was the sound that came out of the optional $100 audio strap. But that was just this comparison. Remember that these are opinions from, I'm just a nobody. All the games that I buy myself. So I don't have to worry about feeling pressure from anybody to make sure that I rate anything above than it deserves. I highly recommend that you guys check out, if you don't already, Mixed Reality TV. He has very honest coverage and opinions, and I think that you would enjoy something like that, and that is what's important. We don't need any more of these fake YouTubers. What we need, yes, we don't need, we need honesty and real reviews with no pressures from the outside. We need integrity, and if you want something like that, I will go to Sebastian's channel, Mixed Reality TV. He will give you an honest, I feel, an honest opinion, and we need real YouTubers out there, not fake YouTubers. So I think that you guys are smart enough to be able to see past that, because in a lot of times that I would see a review and they were like, oh, this is so great, and then I would play it and it wouldn't be great, and I'm just tired of that. So I'm looking for honesty in my reviews. If you have any questions, put them in the comment thing, and I will be more than happy to try to answer them. I'm still trying to figure out the whole mod thing. I have a whole stream on it, but I'm getting there. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed it. If not, don't worry about it. And love you, and I'll see you guys next episode.